Okay, people. Hey, listen, you asked and I delivered. This is the option. This is episode 43 and me. I've got to give the people what they want. Cartrecia, DiMaggio, what's good?
Hey, what's up? What's up?
How you doing? So listen, before we got on the air, we were talking a little bit about volleyball, and every time I think of volleyball, I associate you with it for some reason. It's just volleyball is chi, and chi is volleyball. So you sent me a link on just what it is. So I got a lot of listeners, specifically in the South Bay, that have heard of it and they know kind of what it's about. So let's educate the audience before we have a fun conversation and I drive us both off the cliff. Tell everybody what volleyball is.
Well, actually, you play in a racquetball court, and so it's much closer, well, not long at all, and you can use the walls. And I played indoors, I played beach, and to just round it up, I played with the same people, but we went indoors and played volleyball. So it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. We went 11 years national champions in a row. the women.
Bunch of gangsters. That's what you guys are.
Right.
I remember there was a particular set. You guys found yourselves down 13-6. And I remember you calling me and you were like, dude, you would not believe what we just did.
Well,
No, good.
I actually was mostly setting my partner, and she ran out of steam. And I told her, I'll take it. Set me on 2.
Yeah.
And I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
It was like this blur, huh?
I did it actually because I loved my partner, and I needed to do something because she ran out of gas. She had worked the whole day before we got to the finals, and I always trained by myself too. I'd get there before people came, and I'd toss the ball and I'd hit spots that are hard to defense with, and it worked. So I went all the way back. I mean, we went all the way down to 25. And we won. And people were like, I can't believe you could do that, Chi. I said, well, my partner needed me. So yeah, that was kind of cool.
That was awesome. So who's some of the more fun people that were beach volleyball players that kind of got into volleyball for a little bit? There was Rick Amen, former UCLA player, right? Played with Karch in the 70s, late 70s.
And
a New York legend, right? Someone who's like the king of New York for like Tony 2 decades.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you say Tony Bonilla?
Tony Bonilla, yes.
Oh my God,
they were the best. They were the best. Indoors, outdoors, defense, offense, in every part of the game. So yeah. So I got to play against those animals, and I got to play better. I learned how to play defense better and watch everything, because it came to like everybody was good, and you just couldn't make a mistake. That's the whole idea: is you could not make a mistake, because if you made a mistake and they got 1 point, just like beach, it used to.
Yeah, it felt like it was 5 points, right?
Right.
Cool. I'm making sure everybody sees this. There we go. I'm making sure Bernard sees this. I'm tagging him on this. So, former player at Tulane, right?
Yes. Well, actually, the funny part is that I wanted to tell you about St. Roch Park. I lived across the street and from a park that everybody played different sports, and there was no volleyball, but I learned how to play volleyball by quarterbacking football and judging the trajectory from. I was also in baseball or softball. I was out in center field, so I learned how to get the trajectory, and with football I couldn't I couldn't run and jump high as the guys, so I quarterback. So I took those skills and turned them into volleyball skills.
No doubt.
So that's funny. And I just started that way. And then I did grammar school, high school, college with Tulane. And then the craziest thing happened. So I couldn't play with the varsity third year because I transferred over to chemical engineering. And and I also met this guy, 6'4" with a 40-inch vertical.
Manny.
It was Manny, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up playing once or twice, and then he really was amazing. And so right after college, we moved to Florida, and I got to play against all the best teams because everybody wanted to play my husband. And then, you learn how to pass the ball right to your partner, set him perfectly, no matter where he, takes the first ball. And then he and I played, and my partner in the Pro Tour, okay, so when it was all men, he played with Kenny Hahn. And then I played with Julie Hahn. So when they called Gutierrez and Hahn, we didn't know if it was the girls or the boys playing. So
yeah,
anyways,
you're like, hey, ref, come on. Do we have to do this every time you call our names? Can't you just say?
Yeah, it was funny. It was great. And actually, the reason why Florida went well is because Gene Selznick, he had family in Fort Lauderdale, and he came, and he was one of the top people ever. He was the only one that got Mr. World.
Who's that? Dane or Gene? So you said Selznick?
Gene.
Oh, Gene. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Oh, yeah. He was the only one that was ever Mr. World. And he came to Florida and he taught the Floridians how to play beach volleyball, doubles. And that's how we got in the game. And so when the AVP was started, they needed to go from one place to the other, and it wouldn't just be California. So they went from California to Florida. And Gene knew that there were good players. And then I was working as an engineer, and actually at night I trained most probably 6 days a week in beach and indoors and both of that. So then we played against the guys, we played against the girls, and we were there. In 1984, the Pro Tour came from California to Florida with just men. And then in 85, they included women. They brought some women over to play. So anyway, actually, one of the top people came over to me after our match and came over right under the net and put their hands up and said, "You're a good volleyball player." And I said, "Well, thank you." So that was kind of cool, So anyway, we went along, and
that's awesome.
That's when I moved to New York after myself and Manny couldn't make it. So moved to New York. In California, some people who played in California came back home, and everybody started to meld. And then people came from all over the world, and they taught you how two-handed defense. Don't just put a hand out.
Yeah. Don't just hot dog it. Yeah.
York. Everybody, where they came from, the Polish, remember Polam?
Yep.
And
good
Russian
team, man.
And the Puerto Rican and the Dominicans came, and just wherever, and the Egyptians came, and so many people came together and showed what they did and how they did it well. Oh, and who did we have also? We had the Belgian team come in.
Oh, the Ukrainians too. The Ukes too, right?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Good team.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Nationals, right? Men's Open. They won the Men's Open. Poland did too. I set for that team for a little bit. They won 96. They beat Creole. They beat Creole in like the first all New York finals. It was crazy.
Right. Creole actually, when they were playing, other California teams sat around because Elvis they had a one person receive in indoor sixes, and he just put other people around him, but he'd take every first ball.
Yeah.
Elvis would take every first ball. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That was also a great offensive team too, right? Carlito. Remember Carlito? Oh, yeah. Bonilla was on that team. It was, I think that's when Creole was like all Haitian and Dominican, and before they Creole had like a white guys team and all that stuff. Mm-hmm.
Right. That was Scotty. Scotty came in, and he started to set everybody, and he was and you know what, actually I was in California. I from New York, I moved back to New Orleans for 5 years, and then I went to California, and I'm flipping the coin, and I look over at the new coach, and I go, Scotty, and he goes, gee, and so that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was a great setter, an amazing setter. So we had, it was I don't want to even call it a miracle, but it was just, how can I say, fate. It was fate. So anyway.
You know it's crazy, like, you've got so much, or have had and continue to have so much going on in your life, being involved in things that are bigger than us. I feel lazy just talking about volleyball. It's just fun, you know, because we get to reminisce, and you have been well-traveled before I decided this is what I wanted to do, before I decided that my escapism was going to become my career. So it's really, really just fun talking. And as a ref, you know, as a ref, you got to meet a lot of people. You introduced me to Mario Trebich, who I met in Barcelona prior to. He just didn't remember me, and he was the one who told me to set. I was an outside hitter in Darmstadt, Germany, and he's like, you're 6'1". He's like, you're left-handed. He's like, what's your wingspan? My wingspan is 80 inches. My wingspan is 6'8".
Yes, right.
Yeah, right. Eat your heart out, Omar Vargas. Well, maybe not Omar. Okay, we'll leave him alone. But he said you should set. So then, for 2 years, I started looking at videos of Jeff Stork, who was the setter on the '88 and '92 team at that time. Jeff Stork, a guy out of Pepperdine.
But you're a lefty?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No wonder he told you you should be setting.
Yeah, he's like, I'm 6'1", I'm left-handed. You know, I had a surprisingly good block for a guy that didn't have the reach that everybody else did. Oh, look at that. Somebody pussycat, get away. Well, you know, when we go off there, I'll show you mine.
Okay.
Mine's a little bit blonder. mine's a white-haired, towhead 3-year-old. She's Braxton, but she behaves a lot like a cat.
What a wonderful, wonderful name for your daughter. That's lovely.
Pretty unisex, right? Yeah. So before we jump onto your current project, because it's relevant now, I just want the world to know what you're doing, because sooner or later, I mean, at some point they're gonna know, and I'd like for everybody to be who's worthy of it to be a part of it. Before we go into that, I have a volleyball question for you.
Go ahead.
What tournament did you play in as a kid, or a particular match that you played when you left? You told yourself, I think I can do this. I think I could play D1, or I think I can do this for a living. Was there a defining moment for you as a player?
No, it just developed. It just developed into everything, and I guess I was always on the move. Things just came to me in New York. I mean, like, events were plopped into my lap, and just the right people and the right time. It's, I don't know, it's just fate. It's fate. So I was very lucky. I wound up having an event at Madison Square Garden, and there were 9,000 people there, and I created an interactive sport expo, which showed great skills. And the AVP guys were playing in Madison Square Garden with the sand, and when they were in between, all the people came down out of the stairs, out of their seats, and they came and played my games. Mike Dodd is one of them. He came and played, and I said, "Come play with the kids." He said, "Okay, sure, we'll do that." So we had 9,000
cool
people,
like that.
and it was awesome. It was awesome. So I realized that it's very important. It's the number of people that you have that's important. And it's not really the sponsors, and it's not really the pros, but you need the tremendous amount of people. And that's us, the little people, right? And if you have those people going, And so, I was thinking about that from COVID. So I learned a lot about Zoom. I learned a lot about that to not exercise during a time like this makes people crazy. It makes people crazy. So I was thinking, and then I go, you know what? I called my friend from Switzerland and I said, would you be interested in having an event in Switzerland while I have an event in New Orleans and put it on Zoom? And she goes, yeah, I think I'd like that. I'd like that. And then I called my African friend and I said, you think you could do volleyball, put volleyball? He goes, the king goes of Volta region in
Ghana.
Ghana.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, that's our favorite sport. I'm like, what? And then, and then I called other friends. I had called my Czech friend and called the Caribbean, some Puerto Ricans. And, I'm saying, wow, we could have this event across the world without even having to pay for a location. I said, this is really cool. And the more you stay happy and healthy, the most important thing is to stay happy and healthy. And now over my years of doing what I do, I'm involved in sustainable food and food infrastructure, because that's a part of wellness, and other sustainable and renewable technologies. But okay. And then on top of this, I was learning, do you know what epigenetics and nutrigenomics is?
No, please educate the masses on this one.
This is very cool. So basically, if with nutrigenomics, if you don't eat the right thing, your DNA turns off. I'm like, my DNA turns off. Well, you got to eat where you came from, so things like that. Besides the organics came in, pharmaceuticals went out. It was like 4.5 billion last year in organics were sold. So between having to drink really good water, clean water, and knowing what to eat and eat for what your heritage is, then people will do well. I mean, it's so, it's very, very easy to think, oh yeah, okay, let's follow our ancestry. So it'd be very cool that we have everyone working towards around the world towards their what they have. That's very well. That's amazing. Okay, so there's a baobab tree, BAOBAB, baobab, and it has its tremendous vitamin C. And they use baobab for many things. And now you can see that in products everywhere around the world. So we can learn a lot from everyone. And we can also come together, which I think after COVID just, it may have destroyed some people, but it also
enhanced.
The phoenix rose up, the phoenix rose up to say, okay, let's come together. Let's have global wellness. Let's help each other. So I said, I think I called Jason. I said, Jason, I think I wanted to do a global event, and everybody can do it at their location. And we'd love to see them. Oh, and if they're going to put a fee to have a tournament, then take the amount of fees and give it to your local children's sports to get them going, children's recreation. And that's how I'd like to start, is to have goodwill and wellness, understanding health and wellness, and come together, because I think it's very easy to do now. I know people look at me like, easy, you're doing something globally. I went, yeah, it's volleyball. We love each other. Volleyball, one heart around the world. We be one heart.
Bernard, hold on. Let me interrupt you for a second. Bernard's like, can you please tell her I'm saying hi right now? This is Yeah,
Have you ever-
we're on Facebook Live right now, and he's like, "Mom, damn it, Jay, tell her I said hi." I'm like, "All right, all right, all right, all right." Cool.
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely.
Hmm.
So and who you're speaking with, Jason DeBillis?
Yep.
I mean, without Jason, we couldn't have had that amazing team, because he was such a great coach for the girls, for the guys, kept everybody going. He would, whenever anybody when anybody cursed, they had to do push-ups for me.
Dude, I remember Alex is like, "How am I supposed to set if I can't lift my arms?"
So yes. So Jason was there. Oh, Alex. I mean, I'm in touch with all of the men's team and some of the women's team. So I'm always going to love. So it's all about one heart. It's all about everybody working together with each other. And I think volleyball, since male and female can play, and people also that have people that their legs don't move, but they sit down and they play. I know that they have
sitting volleyball. Yeah,
that's right, and they love their volleyball too. So there's all, it doesn't stop anybody to hit a volleyball. So we're in the, it's not the sexiest sport, but it is the number 2 in the world. Number 1 is soccer, and number 2 is volleyball in the world.
Yeah.
So, and basketball sneaking up in there to volleyball.
Well, yeah, you look at Brazil, right? Right, volleyball is probably number 2, right? And it's weird. Like, of course, football, soccer is number 1.
Right.
Mixed martial arts has entered the top 5 of women's volleyball is still huge, and when you get a good men's team that can play, it totally moves the volleyball needle. And I think what you said said something very interesting about how COVID, a lot of people use this to their advantage. It just wasn't the billionaires that made the right investments and are making money off this. I'll give you an example. This podcast alone, like, all of my guests were in studio. This is episode 43 right now. But with COVID and my tech girl, she's not here to tech the show. That's why I have a split screen. Usually I have someone doing the video switching for us. And in light of the fact you live in Louisiana, and COVID made this episode possible. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
right.
True.
You didn't have to fly in for this.
Everything gave me the idea, and the cool thing is that immediately, if there's something important, everybody sent the information like quickly, to each other, and so people could understand everything and make their choices, and so yes, the world is very small. I call that, and people look at me. I'm like, no, the world's very small, and we're getting smaller and smaller. And we need each other. Everybody needs each other. So to learn and to teach.
Yeah. So this whole
and to have fun, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Have fun that's the most important thing, is have fun.
So the whole Zoom thing we were talking about, which the project you're launching right now, this podcast is a great opportunity because they're all of the club program directors. They follow this. Dane Blanton, he's supposed to come on the next episode. He's Olympic gold medalist in 2000 with Eric Fenoy Moana. He's currently the head coach at USC, so congratulations to him for getting that job, because he didn't use his gold medal to get it. He was an assistant coach for 4 years. He coached clubs, so he's one of these guys that allowed his playing skill and his coaching acumen to let a true meritocracy come into play. And we don't have a lot of African American coaches in beach volleyball, so I thought, and USC, of course, is the hotbed for recruiting. It's really a match. He's a South Bay guy,
I actually went to along with Dane. I went to on 2008. I went to Congress to push and I went with Dominic Dawes, by the way. And we did an event, and I said, come. It was an SGMA get together where we were speaking to the Republicans and Democrats and saying, hey, can we please get this bill in for health and wellness? And so I've actually done that in 2008. So, I think everybody understood that. And Hershel Walker was there too. I got to meet
That's
Hershel
right.
Walker.
Yeah, Hershel Walker, Dominique Dawes. Yep, go ahead.
That was funny. I walked into the plane and looked down at him and I said, "My, you're an athlete." And he said, put his hand out. It was so cute. "I'm Hershel Walker." I said, "Oh, so you're going to be about, SGMA's event?" And he goes, "Yes, I will." He says, "Okay, I'll see you, Chi." He was so cute.
Yeah,
and he's trying to building a hospital in California.
Yeah.
I mean, one day I'd love for us to come together and do magnificent things around the world. And it's not going to be hard. It's not going to be hard. So thank you for having me here.
Cool. Hershel Walker is one of these guys, and I talk to friends about this. This man trains as if he's still playing a sport. The weirdest thing about him, he only eats once a day. He eats in the middle of the day.
4 o'clock should be the time.
Yeah,
4 o'clock.
He eats in the middle of the day, and the man does, I think, 1,000 push-ups a day, like every day. I'm a mixed martial arts enthusiast. He's 3-0. His MMA record, he's not, I think he's probably done with it, but you know how like Hershel wants to try his hand in everything? The man he's 3-0 in mixed martial arts. He fought in Bellator at the age of 50 years old. So he is one of these elite athletes, and when it comes to competition, he's a savage. And like you said, he makes that transformation off the field, off the court, outside of the octagon, to this gentle giant. To this, he really makes that transformation, and it's so cool because we know off the top of our head, like people that we've seen who are just completely different human beings when they compete, as opposed to when they're not competing. All right, we're back. That's cool.
I know it clicked in on me. I had to decline.
That's cool. It's like, bye, I'm busy. You want to tell them if they want to see you go on Facebook Live right now. We're living this right now for on my NY Varsity Sports page, just in case anyone wants to comment.
To all my wonderful Louisianians, New Yorkers, Florida, and California, because I live there. All of those places, I have tremendous friends everywhere there. So
listen, that's why I liked having you on the show. Like, to quote the generation after me, you got hoes in different area codes. I got hoes in different area codes, different area codes.
He was insane like that when he was working with me also. So. That was punishment for the team too. Every time I cursed, they had to do push-ups. so they helped me with my problem. Remember, you had to put you came to me one day and you said, "I'm going to have a bad day, so I'm putting money into the meter." So every time anybody put the F-bomb, they had to put money in the meter. And then we had this plastic meter, and people had to put it in
the jar, right? The big old jar. I remember stuffing a 20 down that thing. You know?
You said, "I had a bad day," and you put a 20 in.
And you're like, "Remember, you got to put money in if you curse." And I just broke out a 20 and I said, "Look, today's going to be expensive." Swear jars.
Oh my God.
For me, I thought it was good because I think the generation after me, and the generation after that did not know how to mediate profanity. Like, I think profanity, like, if something's fucked up instead of messed up, and there are levels to it, and if that's the best way to describe it, yes. But if your whole vocabulary, right, sounds like a Two Live Crew record, right? It sounds like a Two Live Crew album or something, or like NWA, Ice Cube. Then you need to think about some word creativity in your vocabulary. So, and City Texas, that's a challenge, right? We got Brooklyn kids, we got street kids, right? We Brooklyn, we talk a little different, right? Like in Brooklyn, when you want something to repeat something, we don't say, "Can you say that again?" We say, "What'd you fucking say?"
the bomb.
Yeah. So for me, I thought it was really, really good because if someone cursed, at least you know it came from an emotional place and the level of expression has reached that level where you boiled over the top and then you got to hit the reset button.
I think I most put money in it
Yeah.
too. Money in it too because I got a little up too sometimes.
Cool. I want to talk about City Tech.
Okay.
You were the head coach there. I think you were a 3-year coach for the women's team and 2 years for the men. You built that program. I was your assistant coach. You brought me on as a blocking coach, and that was my first actual real gig as a real coach, to learn under someone who has a wealth of experience. And before I ask my question, I just want to say that it wasn't what I thought. It wasn't just X's and O's. It was about conquering demons from the neck up. It was about exercising the muscles between your ears. And it helped me become a hell of a men's coach. And I still sucked as a women's coach because I didn't understand the psychology of how men, performance and leadership and how they conduct themselves. And women was a fellowship thing and like sticking together as a group and getting better together, like that kind of psychology. But before I ask my question, I want to commend you on the work you did with some of the strong personalities. Because City Tech, first of all, a lot of people are not recruiting. A lot of recruits aren't going to go there. So recruiting is already tough sledding. Second of all, we're going to have at least 2 players that never even played the sport, on a 9-man roster. You remember Sean Cousins, right? The soccer player who just gave it his all. Peter Lanton was on the track team. We turned him into a middle blocker.
He's from the other sports.
Alex Paletto, the sweetest hands from Brazil, Brazilian kid.
He was an outsider. He was an outsider.
Yep.
And he wanted to hit. And I told him, no, you've got to be my setter because you're the one that's going to, you're the one that's going to be the captain and tell everybody what to do, because he was an amazing mental athlete. He was
commanded
amazing.
respect. Yeah, he graduated with a 3.9. He was a summa cum laude, like in a like an engineering occupation. Yeah.
3.0.
Yeah.
We had 3.0s in the men's team.
Dude,
so that's
yeah.
Yeah.
God bless, man. In the school where everyone thinks they're a bunch of dummies, man, we had some smart kids, man. I think us in men's tennis, like for cumulative GPA, we're number 1 or number 2. I don't remember the order. Patrick Dietz ended up becoming NCAA Offensive Player of the Year in 2000.
He was a fly, and we just, he just had to keep on going.
Mm-hmm.
And he's had, it was actually not physical problems as far as that.
No.
He kind of like emotional, and he got himself just so tight, and he started to do it for his team. Because if you're playing for yourself because you're great and you have a high jump, that doesn't matter. You have to be cohesive with the 6. You have to have that. So he blossomed into that. And I took him aside, and then my track guy said, "What are you taking him to the side? You put him in the middle and let us fight it out." And I said, "You're right. I'm not coaching girls. I'm just coaching men."
Yeah.
So yes, he did a great job. And went on to coaching himself.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm just proud of I'm proud of that. And I really loved that college. Do you know that they called me back to ask me to be the when did Ray
Almaber, he moved back to Puerto Rico to coach the U.S. Basketball team, to coach the national team for Puerto
Lovely.
Rico. Yeah.
They need to be the AD.
Yeah.
They called to be the AD.
Okay.
And I love your school. I said, but I've been gone for like 20 years and my dad's looking really old. And if it weren't anything but my father has to come first. So, and then Katrina hit and lost my hope, and then I went to California. So at least I was there 5 years and before I had to leave.
Yeah. Ray Almaber, man. I think he was one of the guys responsible for Puerto Rico beating the USA. That Olympic game when USA played the opener against Puerto Rico and Puerto Rico won. in 2004 Olympics. I believe he was on that coaching staff. So you know that man as a basketball coach was for real. I mean, we had kids throwing up. We had kids, in the bathroom cursing them out, punching a wall, but he demanded nothing but excellence. So, good guy, man.
He was. I absolutely loved him.
Yeah.
I absolutely, it wasn't a fancy school or anything, but it just felt like home. It felt like home with the people. Ray was great. He did a lot of great things there for them. And, that he started to favor a bit, because he didn't know the dynamics that I had. Well, he knew it, but the president actually came. Do you know that the president's, the driver for the president, he watched us play, the men's team play. And then he told the president, do you know what kind of a what kind of a men's college?
Don't worry. Just keep going. You can keep talking and do that. Go ahead.
Okay.
You're on a roll right now. Go ahead.
And so then he kicked down and he saw everybody. He said, oh my God, there are butts and seats there. I haven't seen butts and seats there in a long time.
You're like, we might need a bigger gym. Wait, we got to pull out the bleachers for this one.
Yeah. And just to let everybody know, and this is Jason, 100% Jason on it. So Jason and the guys came together to rally around the female basketball players, and the girls rallied around, and the softball girls, and let's see, and the girls rallied around the soccer and the track guys. So we helped. We weren't, just volleyball. We were integrating and helping that whole school to just be one.
Athletics,
so, yeah. Do that. I mean, I know that Jason was a lot of that, and my girls team, they're a lot of that too. So, I mean, I was very blessed. I was very blessed with everybody around.
Yeah.
So
it would have been nice for us to win a conference championship, but I think the work we've done. Like if you look at just people as individuals, how they graduated. First of all, cumulative team GPA for the men. You got like three 4.0s. Rohan Lewis, who by the way was a setter and oppo for Barbados for their national team. Okay, Eugene Escoboza was only there for a cup of coffee, but. The video he submitted got him with Mesa with that team, and they won adult nationals for men's open twice. Patrick Dietz has turned into one of the best indoor commentators I've ever seen. His analytical, like if you got more people watching the CUNY finals than the NPSF, Mountain Pacific, like the West Coast, California, whatever, conference championship, you got more spectators and viewers watching the CUNY finals than the NPSF. You doing your job. People are following him, and he knows a way to critique people without hurting their feelings too. Because sometimes you got to keep it real if someone's not setting well and this and that. And he's got that deep voice. The cat took a shit on my bed. So yeah, and he wants to emulate Kevin Barnett, and Kevin Barnett right now I think is the best indoor color commentator, not so much for beach. And I'm like, I think I would love to watch him and Kevin Barnett. I'd love to see Kevin Barnett just reach out to this guy and just have them talk to each other and just work one high level game on the international level. Because Patrick, he found his niche. Right? Like you said, he ended up becoming a head coach himself. College of Mount St. Vincent ended up being a top 10 school at the time he coached him. Had some good recruits from the Midwest and West. So think of all of the individuals though, right? What we've done individually and the way we just doing our job have bettered people's lives. How do you help people? How did you help Patrick conquer his demons upstairs? Because Patrick was always a baller before that, but Crail really didn't want him because they thought that was a problem. This school, look, Queens College, Carlito could have had him. Didn't have him, but there was a reason why, and it was because of this. I don't know if we remember that far back.
I listened to the other guys, and for women, I had to learn how to think like a male coach instead of just a female coach. And when I put him back, I left him in there with all of the guys instead of, talking to him. And I knew that he had to do what he had to do. And he learned that. And because, when you have that kind of a vertical, you can't set. And I had to teach my setter. And he was just trying to set, like you said, everybody. I said, no. Okay, you've got to understand that he has that big jump, and you just do a high shoot, because a low shoot is for everybody else. And
his pointer reaches right. His pointer reaches here instead of.
You have to high shoot it. You have to high shoot that ball.
Yep.
So it's a timing. You just can't give him what you give everybody else. So I adjusted the setter. That's what happened. I adjusted the setter of what he did. And then he could get up and, and then he could use that vertical. So yeah. So he's, I so that's what I did. I adjusted my setter also, so.
That's cool, man.
And then the guys came together and, actually I met him when I was refereeing, and they were playing in a league game, and he got a cut. He was hit and he got a cut. So I put a butterfly on him, which I learned that, in other sports. And I just, had tape and squeeze it together like this. And I taped his head before he even played for me. So I knew him there, So yeah, it's just some people, things happen.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of him. In his speaking, and he fought really hard, and we did well. We did well.
So it was crazy. I mean, listen, for people that never heard of City Tech, it wasn't one of those colleges that had a club team that turned NCAA. So it wasn't, so everybody's like, oh, if you have a club team and people find out you're NCAA, of course they're going to come. That's no. We had literally nobody. We had Eugene Escoboza register for classes 10 minutes before our first match, our sixth guy. Okay. That was how we started our season. I believe that was against Merchant Marines Academy. I called them the Little Marines. Patrick Dietz was on the podcast a month ago and had some very nice things to say about you. And the memory he wanted to share with you was there was his other outside hitter, his complimentary, his OH2. Had to miss time for some, I don't remember the reason. So we had to organize and find a way to make Tyson, who was an opposite or like a backup player, make him who was playing every position. We had to find a way to make him an outside hitter. So he wasn't really sure where to be. And at the college level it was kind of weird, but he's so smart and he catches on fast. But there was a moment where Patrick was just in the middle of the court passing, and you were like, they're about to blow the whistle. She's like, hey, you said, hey, who's passing? And Patrick's just like, I am. We ran Victor was so good and Patrick was so good. We ran a 2-passer system, which is, that's not even heard of anymore, because the jump serve has revolutionized the game. And now, you looked at UCLA last year, they were rocking 4-passers trying to neutralize Long Beach State's jump serve. But we ran, we did Cartrecia Servert League. We ran if you're going to serve floaters, we're going to run a 2-passer system. We're a middle first offense anyway, right? We're going to run the slide or a back one anyway, to free up the outsides. And you're like, who's passing? And he's just like, I am. Who else? Right. And I liked it because he would have used that as a reason. A year ago, he would have used that as a reason to get aced. But then something changed in his mentality. Like, I am. That's all we got, right? What are my options? And I guess like you. Go ahead.
He rose. I mean, like a new player. So. Oh yeah. That's when he became, he did a great job, and then he went to D2. Didn't he go to D2 the next season?
He attended school, but put student in front of the student athlete. I think he was at Concordia, which was D2, which by the way had a killer team of international players. Mario Gonzalez, Luis Mendez, one of Elvis's people from Santo Domingo, set 2 years, because the way he was going to get a scholarship, he was trying to go 2-2. 2 years Queens College and 2 years at Concordia, and subsequently Concordia cut their program. So, but Patrick was he's trying to find a way to get his 4-year degree, but he was at City Tech his first 2 years. But mentally, when you think about it, you get Offensive Player of the Year. You look at this man's stats. You look at Nygaard or someone, or at the time, George Romano or whatever, they played a certain amount of matches to have a number of attempts. Patrick played 8 matches less than these D1 programs and had the same amount of attempts. He played like as much as 8 matches less. And
I honestly, I actually said, go to him, go to him. And, and then once you have a few, once you have 3 up or something like that, then you can move it around. So, because it just depends, so I was pretty aggressive that way when I played women also. And I was the setter, and I knew who to go to, and everybody got mad at me, but I didn't care, because let's do this, and then when people double block and somebody's ready behind me, then boom, I'd throw it behind or a 10, put it up 10. So, just to move it around, but I guess it's old school. So,
I think,
but it doesn't like a change, because mostly it goes to the
best offensive player. Yeah,
that happens. So
if you look at the international teams, they still do that. Like Russia, they have a pretty good Stoyankovic, a good opposite. And they go to him all the time. In fact, in 2012, they were down 2-0, and they moved their 7-foot middle to the opposite, moved their opposite to the outside hitter, and then just started back-setting the 7-footer. And the 7-footer, who all of a sudden, went from hitting these quick sets to having all of this range and just hitting straight down. He's like, oh, this feels good. And they won the next 3 sets. So it's not like, if you look at a lot of the European teams, like Italy, Bulgaria. It's not uncommon to see them ride one person. Brazil, they just have too many tools in the toolbox, so they're going to go to everybody. USA, when they won the gold in 2008, they knew great systems beat great players, and they knew for every one tall white guy we had that can jump, the rest of the world had like 5 middles that can receive serve with their platform. So we knew that we in order for us to win, we had to get into the belief that great systems beat great teams. And as a result, the USA beat Serbia, Montenegro quarterfinals. They beat Russia in 5 semifinals and beat USA in 4. Reed Pretty, part of that team, he's playing on the beach right now. Who else? David Lee is playing on the beach right now. He's on the AVP tour. He was in the qualifier trying to get into this new series. Who'd you like playing with? Who was one of your favorite partners? I know the answer, but for the people that are getting to know you better, who'd you like playing with on the beach? Who was?
Well, but I really loved everybody I played with, and my strongest partner was Annette Schumacher, and we had Kenny, Lady Footlocker, as our sponsor, and we came in 5th. That's the highest that I did. And she was about, I want to say 5'7". But she could hit with her right and her left hand straight down. And she was built like a tank, but her vertical was insane. Yeah. Okay. Insane. And she and I just, when I moved to New York, it was a level higher. So we had fun, and, we have a lot of friends there. Wherever we travel, we know people from everywhere. So that was, so I was, proud of that. I was proud of that. And then she was a great partner. Yeah. Great partner.
Camille too, right?
Camilla.
Yeah.
Camilla and I played more of volleyball. We actually played in a finals of volleyball. There are 2 different kinds of volleyball. And so I had business in California, and Camilla had moved there, and there was a finals of volleyball. And so we grabbed Yukon's wife and another friend of ours, and Camilla and I, we were playing triples, and the girls were really, they were very good defensively, and so UConn said, "Oh, I think that it's going to be this group." It was in Redondo, or not Redondo, not Hermosa. What's the other one?
Manhattan Beach.
Manhattan. Okay, I know that's the big one. And so he goes, no, this one's going to win. This one's going to win. I'm like, and when people told me that, I'd never lost, and I wasn't going to come tell anybody anything. So, so we beat them. We beat everybody. And I looked at UConn and I said, and you had no faith in me, right, UConn?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You had faith in me. But, and his wife was really excited because, she was playing, open. And everyone just did their job. It was amazing. But, I have always had a great serve in volleyball. It was very hard to. George Cash, when he had a lot of teams coming in, the Russian guys came in. And so he goes, okay, the first thing you're going to have to play, all of these tall Russian guys, you got to play against the women. And they went, the women.
Come on, get out, right?
And
they're like, you better go somewhere with that. Go ahead. That's what they were saying.
Women playing. And so we got there and we aced them off the walls, and I think Camilla could jump. And it wasn't on a woman's net, it was on a men's height net, obviously. But she could still jump and block on a men's height net. But, but then that was the first time. And then they played better and better and better, because whenever anybody came to the United States in New York, someone met them and said, go to Eastern Athletic Club. So that they were our sponsor, and they took really good care of us with volleyball indoors. They were really good to our players. They're really good to me. And George Cassius was the one that, helped all of that. So,
yeah, God
so
bless him.
I was really surprised when I still had my name in volleyball there.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to actually put people up on the site while we talk about this.
I can't even believe that, that I saw that. So, yeah, that's a long time ago. I mean, they used to write my name CHEE, but I go CHI now, DiMaggio.
CHEE. Yeah, come on. They got to get that right. Come on, right? They got to get that right.
Everybody used to do CHEE, and that's okay. And then my name was Cartrecia. No one could ever say Cartrecia. And so when it was Chi, they kept on CHEE. Everybody was writing CHI. I said, I give in. So I became Chi DiMaggio. So yeah. And never to change my name. So, when I played, people would come because they'd hear my name DiMaggio. They'd come to my court, and they would touch me, saying, "We really love Joe." And I'm actually kin of Joe DiMaggio. Yeah. So they'd come down and they'd touch me. People would come over and touch me because they loved Joe DiMaggio so much. So that was really sweet.
That's cool.
So I guess, there you go with the genetics. Yeah. Like, who would have known,
Yep. I run into a lot of volleyball personalities in my life. I run into people, they're good business relationships. There are people, like maybe knowing this person, will benefit you and this and that. And I think where I am right now in the South Bay, it's very, very easy to get caught up in the validation game, which is one of the things that I really, really hate. My first year here, I was miserable, and I'm getting somewhere with this, so bear with me. But don't get undressed. Bear with you. Say what?
That's funny.
So after a while, when people get a job over you, or people get passed up, or you get looked over past people that you know you're better than, you end up, not you, but I end up saying, hey, what the hell? I've been doing this for 21 years. I've been playing longer than that person lived, right? And then the next thing you know, Chi, I start becoming what I despise. I find myself trying to justify why I'm more deserving and this and that instead of just keeping my head in the work and reading the reviews. So my first year here was very, very miserable. In fact, I told Kelly, I said, listen, if you want to kill me, take me back to Brooklyn and kill me, right? Take me to the Verrazano Bridge, put 2 on my head, let me die like a man, Don't let me die here. Don't let me die here in the sand like a freaking snake. But then I remember where I came from, and where I've come from is not just a place. All right, a chest thump on Brooklyn. I'm wearing a Yankee hat. Yeah, okay, that's fine. But not where I came from is not about a place. It's about people that I run into in my life that shape me as the person that I am. All right. The point I'm trying to make is that there are people that you have to tolerate, and there are certain people, like in California, oh, you should get with this person if you want that, and there's just you. All right. And the thing that's made me golden here is, one, I don't give a fuck what people think anymore. It doesn't mean it. They don't move my bottom line. Okay. 2, as much as I love volleyball, as much as I love the sport, and the sport has saved me in so many ways, the job can't save your ass. That's not the most important thing in life. The job can't save your ass. It saves you enough times where you think in the end it's going to save you. The job can't save your ass. What saves you is family. What saves you is a family with different last names. What saves you is people that hold close to you. Okay, and that's where I'm circling around. And the reason why I'm saying this, and the reason why I'm so glad to have you on this podcast, is there's a handful of people that changed my life and shaped me to be the human being that I am, that virtue stays with me, and that virtue out here in the South Bay. And I sound like I'm disrespecting them. I'm not. I mean, no disrespect to anybody, but the virtue that I have is golden. This podcast, I was doing the beat for Volleyball One-on-One. So when I want to interview someone, I have to text someone 100 times or whatever and bother someone. This, I don't have to do that. Either they want to do it or they don't. It's liberating. All right. So there's you, right? There's Bernard, of course, who's still posting. Oh, don't be talking about doing push-ups in the sand. God damn it. That's a whole nother story. I used to miss hers. I used to get aced intentionally just to watch Bern do push-ups, because I'm ex-military. I could do the push-ups, but it was fun just watching him look at me like, But I told a story on my last episode.
I love Bernard so much.
Yeah.
I love him so much.
But that's the kind of person I'm talking about.
Yes.
My last episode, at the end of the episode, and I want to talk about it on this episode too, I want to talk about Eugene. Okay?
Gene was amazing.
Julgene Escoboza. I told a story at the end of my Sports Debate Tuesday show that I'm going to tell you right now. I decided to go back to school. I'm a returning adult student, Marymount Manhattan College. And in order for me to graduate on time, I had to find a way to go to summer school because full-time tuition was too much. So I would do 2 credits summer school, and I would do like 9 credits. I would do like 9 credits fall and spring because less credits was less money. Eugene and I played in 10 tournaments where we won, I don't know, maybe $5,000. Maybe. We found out where the big tournaments were, and then we cleaned up somewhere else. Right? Pottstown Rumble was $3,000. No, fine. We're going to Connecticut. Nobody's there. We're gonna finish first. Shing. And we ended up making $5,000. Now, let's just say $5,000.
Did you play grass?
Grass. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
and beach forest.
I played grass there. Yeah.
And beach forest. And beach forest. Yeah, grass is great. Listen, grass is easy, and I was in great shape. I lost 60 pounds.
Except for when it rains.
Yeah. I know. Well, I played barefoot anyway, so.
Oh wow.
So what happens is my class, for instance, is $5,000, but Eugene and I have to split our earnings down the middle, $2,500 a piece. So one night at dinner, he comes to me and we're sitting together at dinner and we're talking, and on a download he slips me an envelope, and he gives me his half and says, "Go to school, graduate."
That's because he loves you like a brother.
Why is this story special? One, because good people do that without even thinking about it. 2, for some of our friends who already made it and who already have financial means, some of our friends, they're rich enough where they could just throw money in the fireplace to keep the wood hot, anyone that knows Eugene, or anyone knows where I came from and how I cut my teeth before I got to where I got to go, to where I am now. My friends weren't rich. We were check to check. When you met me, Chi, I was check to check. I was living in a basement apartment, okay? About to be fired from a job that didn't even want me, kept it, but that's not the point. Eugene did not have the money. Eugene needed that money. Eugene's wife would have left him because he gave me that money, okay? And he gave me that money and told me, go to school, graduate. So whenever someone comes up to me and talks about how much money they make, or when someone comes up to me and talks about what kind of car they drive, oh, playboy, entrepreneur, millionaire, I tell them, I quote Captain America from the movie Avengers, I know people who are none of those things worth 10 of you. So you want to know who I'm talking about? For anyone that's listening, that's the person I'm talking about. That's the kind of person, when I say I know people who are none of those things worth more than 10 of you, I give you Eugene Escoboza, Flaco.
That's right. That's right. He was amazing. He gave it all.
Yeah. But those are the human beings that I like to surround myself with. I got a couple of them here. I'm gonna shout them out by name. Greg Faulkner. I know you listen to this. I love you, man. Rob McLean, who coaches with me and who also does Sports Debate Tuesday. He's my guy I debate with every Tuesday on when we air the show. Young dude in his 20s, AVP. He's 4th round qualifier. I almost made the draw. You're gonna get there. You're my brother from another mother. Torrin Jeffries. These are people who whose virtue is their passion. No, sorry, their passion is their virtue. Being a good person.
Yes,
they get off from giving. Their virtue comes from, or their passion comes from their virtue, practicing their virtue. They like giving to people. They like helping people. They like, kids, that aren't good, very good volleyball players. Sometimes we pick up some kids that aren't good. The other clubs don't want. They enjoy making people better versions of themselves. And for me, that's what made me survive here in California. I said, wait a second. How did I survive in New York? I pitched a tent and my campsite was filled with like-minded personalities.
Wow. Yes.
And they're out there. They're out there. You have them. We have them.
Oh, amazing. Amazing parents.
Mm-hmm.
When there's sometimes it's not about winning. Sometimes it's about your skill set that commands respect. And I was coaching the parent, and I can't remember his name, but he wound up being a setter for his school, and he ran a fast offense in his senior year. And I actually was refereeing, and his father came over and held my foot on the referee stand. That happens a lot. and he said, gee, his grades went up. This went up. He's popular. This is he was always shy, and he transformed. So what you do with people, teaching them, creates, you and I are exactly the same. We're about how great can you be and never give up, and always think about something else or new to do to change whatever's happening. So yes, it's all about love. It's all about doing it for your team. So, that's why volleyball transforms people's lives. And we don't even, like in the United States, we're not very known except for California, that everybody's gaga over it.
Well, the beach scene. Yeah.
But I mean, everybody loves beach because the girls are in bikinis and we do well in the Olympics. So,
we're top heavy. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, it's just a wonderful sport. Just a wonderful sport. So I'm so glad that I found it. I'm so glad that my angels brought me from one place to the next, and and I'll.
Some great evolutions, huh?
Yes, and just want those kids to have respect for the skills and and people say, wow, you know, you're really playing better. You're really this, you're really that. So I love so for people to have their skills and have their respect in playing. It's really not even winning. It's about respect for the game, you know, respect for your skills and other people. So, yeah, it's a very interesting sport, you know, very, very wonderful sport.
And but that's why it's not just a sport. And that's why it can save your life for a long time. That's why people use it as a form of escapism. And for the good players, again, their escapism becomes their career. There's nothing that you feel like there's nothing better in the world. You're there and you're swimming in it, and nothing else matters. It is that virus we're infected with no known cure. You know, it is what it is. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And this generation, some of these kids, man, Eric Baranek, I'll cite him right now. He was the guy that made the main draw. He qualified 7 times with 6 different partners. And then Manhattan Beach, he finally made it to the semifinals. He went not from the draw. He made the qualifier. He went from the qualifier all the way to the semifinals. So all 4 days, that guy that led to the last day eventually lost to like Casey Patterson and Budinger, but just passionate kid out of Redondo Union High School. Shout out to guys like him. He's passionate. He treats everybody the same. Bill Kolinsky, you know, another guy out of Minnesota. Miles Evans. Just these new young bright faces that are gonna take the torch and carry it forward. You know, big up to those people. Big up to Kerry Walsh. You know what I'm saying? She's
amazing.
You know, her performance alone and just like her determination inspires people. Never mind some of the work that I've been highly critical of. Some of the stuff I think she should be doing more on the outside that I've been ignorant to. I'm pretty sure she has, and I just didn't see it. You know,
is Misty May doing anything? Is Misty May coaching?
Yeah,
anywhere?
she's coaching Long Beach City College, the women's beach team. And she's coaching their indoor team in the fall, but I think she has a position at the college, and she lives in Long Beach, so it's this nice posh position. Her dad, Butch, of course, you know, does a lot of work with her. Talk about great human beings, right? So it's more in that conversation. The AVP over the weekend, she was a sideline reporter with Dane Blanton, so it was really cool to have her out there too, and have her back on the scene. She I believe she had twins last year, a year and a half ago. So
oh my gosh,
she had to play mom to that.
Get your family and go back to volleyball.
Yeah.
You know, you need your family for sure.
And yeah, so those are the people I want to give big up to.
My baby's sneezing.
Oh, your cat, yeah. Yes. My baby, I was gonna put her on camera right now. She's taking a nap, but I'll FaceTime you later, and I want to show you what she looks like. She's got your hair. She's well, you're a strawberry blonde in Manhattan.
You know,
in
it
New
went
York.
the way it wanted to. It just wanted being blonde. I didn't do much.
No, Louisiana does it by itself, right?
Like, I'm good.
But where you live, it does it by itself, right? So
yeah, you know, it's
nice.
It's going where it wants to go. So
listen, before we get out of here, I want us to plug this Zoom thing one more time because I want more people to be a part of it. If someone wants to be a part of it, first of all, how can they reach you via email or website or whatever?
Absolutely. It's short for Volleyball One Heart. It's VB and the alphanumeric 1 HEART@yahoo.com.
Yeah. And basically, for everyone listening, she is putting together something I would affectionately refer to as a world Zoom, where you're going to see, it's a Zoom function where you're going to see people playing volleyball in different parts of the world. So whether it's New York or indoor New York urban professionals, whether some guys are in South Bay, you know, CBVA tournament going on, Ghana, West Africa. I know Seydou and Janako and his cousin Shamsu very well. Chi knows the president, so we definitely might have some games out there. So basically, it's going to be a whole bunch of videos happening at the same time, and click on what you want. It's this get together thing.
It's going to happen like Africa's 8 hours ahead of us. So it's going to start somewhere else, you know, and then it's going to be involved people will be involved in it all across the day. And even if it's 2 or 3 days or another day,
even if it's still, one day, are you kidding? Yeah.
Well, you know, I was thinking about doing it too. And actually what I'd love to have is a Volleyball One Heart Day in our 365 days of the year. And so in Volleyball One Heart, we'll invite all of the other sports in to said everybody play and enjoy yourself and think about global wellness. So I believe the right sponsors will come. Like, just started talking. Well, it started a couple of years ago, talking to Foot Locker, because Kinney Foot Locker is who sponsored me. But you know, the more you know what, I don't even have to worry, because I think I'm gonna, you know, it's going to happen organically. and I'm all into real organics and health and wellness.
Yes.
So,
well, that's your promotion. Your this whole thing is the common denominator centered around the betterment of the environment, right? Was that a mission statement that's connected to this?
Well, no, not really environment. It's about global wellness.
Right.
It's about organics. It's about sustainability. It's about people being healthy and having fun. So, you know, and you know, everybody who loves their sport, you know, love it, play it, and be healthy. You know, love it, play it, be healthy. And I was going to start with 4 different sports. And then I said, let me just start that with Volleyball One Heart. And let's see when things are going to happen. So,
nice.
Anyway, I know Hawaii.
I just tagged Raphael on this just to make sure he sees this.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, we
and Amari Velasco as well. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, for all of the people I've played with in my life and the people that have played for our teams, even those people, if you'd say, who do you know? We're going to be able to go around the world very easily.
I mean, when you think about it, you're like the Kevin Bacon of volleyball. There's like 6 degrees of separation, and from referees to coaches to players. Isn't it crazy? It all comes full circle like that. Like you've reffed,
yes.
You've reffed.
Now,
you've
a lot
coached.
of the people that ref didn't play. A lot of people did not play.
No, but they're there too. Sorry.
Oh, yes. Well, you know, we'll see. Whoever wants to be a part of a global wellness movement and having fun and helping your community. Mm-hmm. I love the heart to go around the world.
No doubt. And again, like I want to finish with refs. Isn't it crazy that there's some refs that never even play the game, and we have refs that are like Olympic gold medal winning coaches, like Mario.
Absolutely.
Like Mario, think of Mario Trivich,
I
right?
love my referees. The referees have the hardest job.
But look at Mario, right? 92, Netherlands, silver. 96 Olympics gold. Assistant coach, 84 women's team. 88 Soviet Union men's team. You know, the man's been involved in medal rounds for every Olympics. And it's crazy because he's lost a little bit of his eyesight, so he'll make crazy calls. And then there's some kids that are like, oh my God, this old dude doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And then I'm like, you know, I kind of pull him to the side. I'm like, hey, you know, he might be a little blind, but show some respect. Show some respect. The man has forgotten more volleyball than you'll ever know, right?
Are you talking about Mario Trivich?
Yes.
Oh.
He refs. But he refs NCAA and he's an Olympic coach.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I know he was on the women's, what is it,
84? Yep.
Yeah. And I worked with him a lot. And when I moved to New Orleans, he came here. And he came here and we had clinics. Yeah. And we brought the college coaches from SWAC in, and we brought the local high schools. And everybody loved it. We taught them how to pass the first ball so they can run a fast offense.
No doubt.
You know,
because they were high ball people.
Schools are doing very well. They're doing very well. So.
Yeah, I ended up coaching Mario's son, by the way, Alex, at Hunter High School. I was his high school volleyball coach. And he has another son that went to Bronx Science. So he, like, think about like the New York schools, Bronx Science, Hunter High School, Stuyvesant. These are all pipelines to, you know, better advanced education. Cool.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
hey, if volleyball can help people get to college, I love it. No matter what, because get your education.
Yeah. Are you kidding? Now that it's sand is an NCAA sport, the club sizes have tripled, man. This is an investment now for some of them.
I know Tulane University is my alma mater too.
Yeah, you got a new coach there.
And they have beach going on.
Mhm.
And I worked with Bruce White. Bruce Wright is the one that he and his partner created a huge, I think it was like 24 courts.
Yep.
And Katrina hit, and Katrina hit, and then they rebuilt it, but then they needed it for they needed that area for
Relief. Yeah.
more important things.
Mhm.
And then they moved, and then their partners split, and so beach volleyball, sand volleyball, everybody loves it. Everybody that goes out there, goes 6 nights a week, and that's how crazy they are. And I had and I coached a team, and it was Bayou boys, but it was Bayou boys and girls, and got in there again in the game just as a coach instead of ref, and I really love coaching. Reffing, I love my people that I work with, but coaching, it has to be coaching.
Yeah.
So, but I have a lot of things going on, and no matter what, Bayou boys were wonderful with me too. So, and they started only as boys, and then they had boys and girls, and they're in Texas and they're in Louisiana.
Nice.
So I just wanted to make a shout out to Bayou boys.
They had they have an indoor boys club team. When I went to nationals, I played their team. I ended up playing their team, Bayou Boys. I'll send you the link.
Really?
I'll send you a link to the video. How about that?
That's so cool.
I tape all of our matches, so all of my matches are on unlisted links on YouTube. So, but if I send you the link, take a peek at it. Pretty cool.
Of course.
Bayou Boys.
Yes.
I mean, easy name to remember. That's why I was like, I know who they are, because that's, as far as like remembering stuff, that's awesome. Oh my God. Hey, that's all I got for you. And Chi, oh my God, I'm sorry. Chi's had enough of all of you guys too. All right. So for all of you at home, for all of you on your iPad, watching this, for all of you online at Starbucks, watching this on your iPhone, for all of you on your desktop, we're old school. We rule the world. And for Cartrecia, Chi DiMaggio, AKA Chi, I'm Jason DeBeas. And for everybody else, we say so long. Come check out the Option Podcast on OptionVB.com. It's also available on iTunes and Spotify, and on YouTube under the NY Varsity Sports handle. You're going to love what you hear.